Something just didn't feel right anymore. For the past 6 months, I've been feeling like a stranger in my own marriage. My name's Eric. I'm 35, and I've been married to my wife, Lauren, for almost 8 years. We met in college, got married young, and for the most part, it was good. Not fairy tale perfect, but good. We built a life together, shared goals, travel plans, lazy Sundays with coffee and old movies. That kind of comfort you don't think twice about until it starts to crack. And that's the thing. It did start to crack. Slowly at first. Lauren became distant. Not in a dramatic way. Just subtle enough that I thought I was imagining it. She started staying late at work more often. She became glued to her phone, smiling at texts she wouldn't let me see. Her laughter shifted. It used to be ours. Now it felt like it belonged to someone else. At first, I blamed myself. Maybe I wasn't showing enough affection. Maybe I'd become too boring. But deep down, something in me was screaming that something was wrong. There was a shift in energy between us. We weren't fighting, but the silence had changed. It became heavier. I remember one night, I reached for her hand while we were watching a movie, something we used to do without thinking. She pulled it away, barely noticing. That stung more than any argument could have. I started questioning everything. Was I paranoid? Overthinking? Or was there really something going on behind my back? The idea of her cheating felt insane. Lauren always acted like she despised cheaters. Said she'd never tolerate it. She made it clear, once a cheater, always a cheater. But now? I wasn't so sure. And I was about to find out just how much I didn't know the woman I married. The forgotten laptop. It all started to unravel because of one stupid mistake, one she never intended to make. Lauren had a work laptop she never let anyone touch. Claimed it was company policy, sensitive data, all that corporate speak. I respected her privacy. Until one Friday afternoon, she left in a rush for a client dinner and forgot to bring it with her. That was the first time I got told me, check it. I stood there staring at the laptop on the dining table for what felt like an hour. I wasn't the type to snoop. I hated the idea of violating someone's trust. But then again, hadn't she already done that to me? The laptop wasn't even password protected. That should have been my first clue. Almost like she never thought she'd slip up. I opened her browser. The first tab she had open? A private Gmail account. Not her work email. Not even her personal one I knew about. Something completely different. I hesitated. My heart was pounding, palms sweaty. But curiosity, or maybe desperation, got the best of me. I opened the inbox. There were dozens of emails from someone named Adam. No last name. Just Adam. The subject lines made my stomach drop. Last night was perfect. Can't stop thinking about your body. Miss you already. I opened one. It was worse than I imagined. Explicit. Detailed. Romantic. Like a damn movie script of their affair. He wasn't just some fling. This was a full-blown relationship. The kind of emotional intimacy that gets built over time. Not some one-night stand. She had told him things she hadn't told me in years, how he made her feel alive, how she hated the routine at home, how she couldn't wait to be free. Free. From me, I guess. I stared at the screen for what felt like hours. My whole body went numb. My wife, the woman I trusted with everything, was living a double life. Right under my nose. And now, I had proof. But the worst part? I had no idea who this Adam was. Yet. Who the hell is Adam? I couldn't sleep that night. I laid there in bed beside her, Lauren, sound asleep, breathing softly like everything was normal, while my mind raced with questions. Who the hell was Adam? How long had this been going on? How could she look me in the eye every day and lie so easily? I wanted to wake her up right then and demand answers. But something stopped me. I needed to know more before I confronted her. I didn't want her to spin it, gaslight me, tell me I was crazy. I needed to be sure. I needed leverage. So, I spent the next day digging. First, I checked the email threads. Turns out they'd been messaging for nearly 9 months. 9. I went back as far as the messages allowed. It started off flirty, innocent. Then it got personal. Then sexual. And finally, emotional. She told him she loved him. Multiple times. They had nicknames. Inside jokes. Talked about places they'd meet. I cross-referenced some of those places with her calendar and receipts I found in her purse. She had lied to me about team meetings, girls' nights, even her mother being sick. Her entire life was built around covering up this relationship. Then came the biggest gut punch. In one of the emails, she said, "Eric suspects nothing. He's too trusting. Honestly, I feel bad sometimes. But we're not in love anymore, not really." That broke me. Not just the betrayal, but the contempt. The way she talked about me like I was some clueless idiot. I tried to find this Adam on social media. She never mentioned his last name, but in one email she referenced meeting him at a leadership retreat her company held back in October. I looked up the event and found a group photo on the company's LinkedIn. There he was, standing beside her, arm behind her back like he owned her. His name was Adam Hale. Regional director. Married. 2 kids. So now I wasn't just dealing with an affair, I was dealing with 2 marriages being burned to the ground. And I hadn't even told her I knew yet. But I was getting close. The calm before the storm. That weekend was hell. I walked around the house like a ghost, pretending everything was normal. I smiled when she talked, laughed when she made a joke. But inside, I was breaking apart piece by piece. Every word out of her mouth felt like a lunge, even the casual ones, "Want coffee? Love you. Be right back." All I could think about was Adam Hale. His smug LinkedIn photo. His arm around my wife. I started noticing things I'd ignored before. She was constantly texting, but kept her phone face down. She never left it unattended anymore. She was always running errands, always exhausted. And when we were intimate, which had become rare, it felt rehearsed. Like she was checking a box. Sunday night, she mentioned she had a networking dinner on Tuesday. Said it was mandatory. Said the whole executive team would be there. I asked casually, "Will Adam be there?" Her fork paused mid-air. She looked at me. "Adam? Who?" She played it perfectly. Like she didn't even recognize the name. I just smiled. "One of your co-workers, I think?" She shrugged. "I don't think I've worked with an Adam directly." Line number 1. Bold. Confident. That night, while she was asleep, I started documenting everything. Screenshots of emails, photos of receipts, timestamps from GPS on her car's app, photos of the LinkedIn page. I backed it all up to a USB and a private cloud folder. Why? Because deep down, I knew that when I confronted her, she'd deny it. Twist the narrative. Turn it back on me. She always had a way of making herself the victim. I needed to stay calm. In control. Smart. Because when the truth came out, I didn't want to just expose her lies, I wanted to watch them fall apart right in front of her. And that moment was coming sooner than she ever expected. The setup. I spent Monday planning everything. I wasn't just going to confront Lauren, I was going to corner her. No room to escape. No lies she could hide behind. I wanted to see the look on her face when she realized it was over. When she realized I knew everything. But more than anything, I wanted the truth. All of it. Raw. Ugly. Real. I called in sick from work. Told her I wasn't feeling well, migraine or something. She barely noticed. She was too busy texting someone. I didn't ask who. That afternoon, I followed her. Yeah. Full cliché, I know. I felt ridiculous sitting in my car like some low-rent private investigator, but I needed to see it. I needed that final punch to the gut to be absolutely sure. She left the house around 4:30 p.m. Said she was going to get her nails done and pick up groceries. I waited 5 minutes, then followed. She didn't go to the salon. She didn't go to the store. She drove across town to a boutique hotel. I parked across the street and waited. 10 minutes later, guess who walked in? Adam Hale. In a damn suit, no wedding ring. Like this was just another day in his double life. They didn't even try to hide it. She ran up and hugged him in the lobby. Kissed him like a teenager sneaking around her parents' house. They laughed, held hands, and walked to the elevator. That was it. The last piece. I didn't go in. I didn't need to. I already had the emails, the receipts, the GPS, the lies, and now, them together. Public. Real. Unmistakable. I took a photo from the car. One clear shot of her lips on his. That was going to be the opening move. Because tomorrow, when she came home from work, I'd be waiting. Calm. Ready. And for once, she'd be the one with no idea what was coming. D-Day. Tuesday came. The day of the so-called networking dinner. She got up like it was any other morning. Made coffee. Scrolled her phone. Kissed me on the cheek and said, "Have a good day." I nodded. Said, "You too." She didn't suspect a thing. I worked from home that day, well, pretended to. Mostly I just rehearsed what I was going to say. I played out every version of the conversation in my head. Would she cry? Scream? Deny? Would she laugh in my face? Or worse, shrug? I was shaking by the time 6 p.m. rolled around. At 6:42, she texted. "Running a little late. Don't wait up," red heart emoji. At 7:15, she walked through the door. Hair slightly messy. Lipstick smudged. Perfume strong. A fake smile plastered on her face. I was sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop open, the USB drive plugged in. I looked up and said, "Hey! How was the dinner?" She took off her heels, tossing them carelessly by the door. "Exhausting. I need a shower." "Before you do," I said, keeping my voice even, "can I ask you something?" She froze just a second too long. "Sure." I clicked open the first email. Then the second. Then a photo. I turned the screen toward her. Her eyes locked on it. That one image of her and Adam outside the hotel. Her lips on his. Silence. Then she laughed. Laughed. "Oh my God," she said. "You went through my stuff? That's seriously insane, Eric." No apology. No explanation. Just immediate deflection. "You've been cheating on me for 9 months," I said. "Lying to my face every single day." She rolled her eyes. "I wouldn't call it cheating. Not really. You and I haven't been a couple for a long time." I stared at her, stunned. "So that makes it okay?" She crossed her arms. "Look, if you want to have a meltdown, go ahead. But don't act like I'm the only one who checked out of this marriage. You've been emotionally gone for years." That was her defense. Blame me. The woman I thought I knew didn't exist anymore. And in that moment, something inside me snapped. Not in anger. In clarity. She wasn't going to take responsibility. She wasn't going to feel guilt. She wasn't even sorry. And that told me everything I needed to know about what I had to do next. The turning point. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I just sat there and looked at her. And for the first time in our entire marriage, I saw Lauren for exactly who she was: cold, calculated, selfish. She wasn't sorry. She wasn't even ashamed. She had already rewritten the story in her head. I was the bad guy. I pushed her away. She was the victim. That realization hit harder than anything else. "I want a divorce," I said quietly. Her smirk dropped. "What?" she snapped. "I want a divorce. You can pack your things tomorrow and stay with Adam. Or wherever. I don't care." She blinked, like she didn't quite believe me. "Don't be dramatic, Eric. We need to talk through this. You're clearly emotional." "No," I cut her off. "I'm done talking. You've been talking to Adam behind my back for almost a year. You've been sneaking out, lying, gaslighting me, making me think I was crazy. That ends now." She stared at me, suddenly unsure of her footing. She wasn't used to this version of me. I'd always been the calm one. The patient one. The one who gave her the benefit of the doubt, even when she didn't deserve it. "You don't mean that," she tried again. "We can figure this out. We always do." I stood up and handed her a manila envelope. Inside were printed copies of the emails, photos, and a list of everything I'd documented. Her face turned white as she opened it. This is insane," she muttered. "You've been spying on me?" "No. I've been preparing for the moment you finally showed me who you really are." She didn't say anything after that. Just stood there, flipping through the evidence like she was watching her own house burn down. Then she stormed out, slamming the door behind her. That night, I poured a drink, sat in silence, and felt something I hadn't in weeks. Peace. It wasn't over yet, not by a long shot. But the spell was broken. I was no longer the fool in the dark. I was taking my life back, piece by piece. The fallout begins. The next morning was quiet. Too quiet. I half expected Lauren to come back kicking and screaming, demanding we talk like adults or accusing me of being abusive for exposing her lies. But she didn't. She didn't come home at all. Instead, I got a text around 10:23 a.m. "I think we both need space right now. I'll stay at a friend's." A friend. Right. I didn't respond. Later that day, I got a call from her sister, Rachel. She asked what was going on. Said Lauren told her I overreacted about some work messages and was spiraling. That's when I realized Lauren had already started rewriting the narrative for everyone else. In her version, I was the insecure husband, obsessed with control. She was the poor, misunderstood wife, stuck in a loveless marriage. I told Rachel the truth. I told her everything. There was a long pause. Then Rachel whispered, I knew something was off. She's been weird lately. Distant. I'm so sorry, Eric. That call confirmed something important. Not everyone was buying Lauren's act. And I'd need that support, because things were about to get messy. That same night, Lauren emailed me. Not texted, emailed. Like we were in court already. Eric, I think we both know the marriage has been over for some time. Let's handle this like adults. No need to drag other people into it or be vindictive. I'd prefer we split things amicably. Translation? She wanted to walk away clean. No consequences. No blame. Just a neat exit so she could start her new life with Adam without any drama. But that wasn't going to happen. I'd spent years building our life. Supporting her. Trusting her. And she torched it for a man who wasn't even single. I replied with one sentence. My lawyer will be in touch. And just like that, the games began. Dirty tactics. By Friday, Lauren had officially gone from silent to strategic. I got a call from a mutual friend, Mark. We hadn't talked much in the last year, but we'd known each other since college. His tone was cautious. Hey man, I don't want to get in the middle of anything, but Lauren's been saying some stuff. Pretty heavy. I asked what kind of stuff. Apparently, she'd started telling people I'd been emotionally manipulative for years. That I was cold, distant, controlling. That I'd driven her to cheat. She said you were paranoid, Mark added. That you'd been digging through her personal stuff for months and accused her of all kinds of crazy things. I couldn't help but laugh. Of course. Of course she'd flip it. Make herself the wounded one. The victim of my obsession. I thanked Mark for the heads up and hung up. 10 minutes later, I sent a group message to 6 people, close friends and a couple family members. I kept it short. Calm. Just the facts. Hey everyone. I know there are rumors flying around, and I'd rather you hear it directly from me. I discovered Lauren has been in an affair with a married coworker for the past 9 months. I have emails, photos, receipts, all of it. I'm not sharing this for pity, just clarity. Please respect our space while I move forward legally. Most replied with support. A few were silent. I could already tell who had bought into her version. But I wasn't done yet. I called my lawyer. Told him I wanted to proceed with filing. No mediation. No quiet let's stay friends separation. She cheated. She lied. She burned the house down. I wasn't giving her a soft landing. He asked for all my evidence. I sent it. Then I added something extra. A printed copy of the hotel photo. The timestamp. The confirmation that Adam Hale was married. Because the more I thought about it, the more I realized, this wasn't just my problem. Adam had a wife. 2 kids. And they had no idea. But they would soon. The other wife. The more I stared at Adam Hale's smug face in those hotel lobby photos, the more I knew I couldn't let him walk away clean either. If Lauren wanted to destroy a marriage, fine. But his wife deserved to know the truth just as much as I did. So, I tracked her down. It wasn't hard. Her name was Emily Hale. She had a public Instagram full of family photos, vacations, school events, birthday parties. A beautiful woman with kind eyes and 2 young kids. The kind of life Lauren had no business staring apart. I hesitated. It felt wrong somehow, messy, vindictive. But then I thought of Lauren's smirk, her laugh when I confronted her. The way Adam touched her like I didn't exist. I sent Emily a private message. Hi Emily, I'm really sorry to reach out this way. My name is Eric. I believe your husband Adam has been having an affair with my wife, Lauren. I have proof, emails, messages, photos. If you'd like to talk, I'm willing to share everything. She didn't respond right away. I didn't expect her to. 2 days later, she replied. Please send me everything. And so I did. Every screenshot. Every email. The photo of their kiss outside the hotel. The message where Lauren said she was counting the days until Adam left his wife. 30 minutes later, Emily called me. She was shaking. You could hear it in her voice. She said she'd had suspicions for months, but Adam always made her feel crazy when she brought it up. We talked for nearly an hour. Not as strangers, but as people crawling through the same wreckage. She cried. I listened. Then I cried too. By the end of the call, she thanked me. Said she was grateful someone finally told her the truth. I deserve better, she said quietly. And so do you. I hung up feeling heavy, but lighter than I had in weeks. Because now, finally, the truth was no longer mine to carry alone. When it all came crashing down, the next few days were like watching a slow-motion implosion. Emily must have confronted Adam the same night I sent her the proof, because by Monday morning, I got an unexpected text from Lauren. What the hell did you do? No greeting. No explanation. Just pure rage. I didn't respond. She followed up an hour later. Emily showed Adam everything. He's furious. He's saying I ruined his family. I sat there reading her messages, shaking my head. She was the one who had the affair. She lied to me, to his wife, to everyone. And now she was acting like I had betrayed her? It was almost laughable. Later that evening, she showed up at the house without warning. She looked awful. Messy hair, eyes puffy from crying. But not the kind of crying that comes from guilt, more like a tantrum that didn't go her way. You told his wife? She snapped the moment I opened the door. I didn't say a word. She kicked him out. Did you know that? Adam's living in a hotel because of you. No, I said calmly. Because of you. That stopped her for a second. She looked at me like she couldn't decide whether to cry or punch a wall. You destroyed 2 families, I said. I just told the truth. Something you clearly haven't done in a long time. She sat down, suddenly deflated. I didn't mean for this to happen, she mumbled. You didn't mean to get caught, I corrected. Big difference. Then she said something I wasn't expecting. I don't think Adam even wants to be with me now. I didn't reply. I didn't care. She wasn't my problem anymore. She stayed there, sitting in silence for a while, then asked the question I'd been dreading. Can't we just rewind? Pretend it never happened? Start over? I looked her straight in the eye. No, Lauren. We can't. She left without another word. And for the first time in this entire mess, I felt nothing. No anger. No heartbreak. Just relief. The rebuild. After Lauren left that night, something inside me finally shifted. I'd spent weeks in chaos, digging, doubting, unraveling everything I thought I knew. And now, for the first time, the storm was over. The dust hadn't settled yet, but I could see the sky again. I filed the divorce papers the next day. No hesitation. My lawyer told me Lauren had already contacted someone on her end. She wasn't contesting the divorce, at least not yet, but she did want to protect her reputation. That part made me laugh. What reputation? She had burned it to the ground with her own hands. A few days later, Emily texted me again. Not about Adam this time, about herself. She said she was going to stay with her sister for a while, take her kids out of town, get her head clear. She thanked me again for telling her the truth. Then she said something I didn't expect. You saved me a few more years of living a lie. I hope you know that. I didn't reply right away. I just stared at the message. Because she was right. And I wished someone had saved me sooner too. I started cleaning out the house, physically and emotionally. I took down photos of Lauren and me. Packed up her stuff and left it by the door. Donated things that reminded me of her. I even painted the bedroom a different color. Something light. Something that felt like starting over. It wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about reclaiming. I started going for runs again. Calling old friends. Sleeping through the night without jolting awake, heart racing. I hadn't realized how long I'd been holding my breath in that marriage. Now, I was finally breathing again. And the more I focused on myself, not the betrayal, not her lies, the stronger I felt. There was still a long road ahead. But for the first time, it was my road. And I wasn't looking back. Unexpected closure. 2 weeks after filing for divorce, Lauren asked to meet. I almost said no. Part of me was done, really done, with hearing her voice, with watching her twist the truth like it was some game. But another part of me was curious. What could she possibly have left to say? We met at a cafe near our old apartment. Neutral ground. The place where we used to come on lazy Sundays, back when things felt simple. She looked different. Tired. Smaller, somehow. Like the weight of everything had finally caught up to her. She didn't waste time. "I'm sorry," she said. I didn't respond. "I know you probably don't believe me, and I don't blame you. I handled everything horribly. I lied. I betrayed you. I ruined something good." Still, I said nothing. I just let her talk. She went on, rambling through what sounded like a half-scripted confession. How she never meant for it to go that far. How Adam made her feel seen. How she convinced herself I didn't care anymore. "He told me he was going to leave her," she said. "Said we'd start fresh. But once everything came out, he changed. He's trying to fix things with his wife now. And I don't have anyone." That last sentence landed hard. Not because I felt pity, I didn't. But because it showed the truth. She didn't come here to apologize. She came here because she had nowhere else to go. "I'm not telling you this to win you back," she added. "I know that's not going to happen. I just wanted to say it. Out loud." I finally looked her in the eyes. "I hope you figure yourself out, Lauren. But I'm not your safety net anymore." She nodded, swallowing whatever pride she had left. Then she left. And that was it. The final thread, snip. No screaming. No dramatic exits. Just quiet, sad closure. And strangely, it was exactly what I needed. A new kind of peace. Life didn't magically fix itself after Lauren walked out of that cafe. There were still moments of heaviness. The occasional flashback. That sudden punch in the gut when I passed a restaurant we used to love, or heard a song she once sang in the kitchen on Sunday mornings. But slowly, the memories started losing their sting. I started to feel like me again. I picked up a side project at work, something I'd been putting off for years. I took a weekend trip to the mountains, just me, a tent, and silence. It felt weird at first, being completely alone. But by the second night, I realized it wasn't loneliness I felt. It was peace. I didn't miss Lauren. Not really. I missed the version of her I thought existed. The illusion of safety, of partnership. But now I understood, that version never truly existed. She was chasing something she couldn't name. And instead of facing her emptiness, she filled it with lies and ego. It wasn't my job to save her from that. I also kept in touch with Emily Hale. Not romantically, just occasionally checking in. We'd both been through the same hell, and there was comfort in knowing someone else understood the kind of betrayal you can't explain to people who haven't lived it. She once messaged me, "It doesn't feel real sometimes. Like it happened to someone else." Yeah. That stuck with me. Because sometimes, I felt like I'd watched it all happen from outside my own body. But that was the past. And the past had finally stopped owning me. I had new routines now. I slept better. Ate better. I could sit in silence without needing a distraction. I was no longer afraid of my thoughts. That's how I knew I was healing. And that maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the end of something. But the start of something far better. What I learned. It's strange how something so painful can end up being the thing that sets you free. If you had told me a year ago that my wife would be having a long-term affair, that I'd be the one sitting across from lawyers discussing asset division, that I'd be sleeping alone in a half-empty house, I would have thought you were insane. But here I am. And I'm okay. Better than okay, actually. Don't get me wrong, betrayal cuts deep. It shatters something in you that takes time to rebuild. But once the shock fades, and the rage dies down, something unexpected happens. Clarity. You start to see things as they really were. The small moments you ignored. The emotional distance you justified. The manipulation disguised as sarcasm. The lies hidden in jokes. I realized I had been loving someone who stopped loving me a long time ago. And I kept trying to fix something that was never mine to fix. It taught me boundaries. It taught me self-worth. It taught me that trusting someone doesn't mean letting them walk all over you in the name of love. And most of all, it taught me that sometimes, losing a person is the best thing that could ever happen to you. Because it makes room for something more, peace, purpose, and eventually, someone who truly deserves you. If you're going through something similar, I want you to know this. You're not crazy. You're not weak. And you're definitely not alone. Thanks for sticking with my story to the end. If it hit home, or if you just want more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. There's a lot more coming.